What's up everybody, welcome back to Double T Gaming. It's time for part 2 of the class preview videos, and today we'll be getting a little bit of an overview on Warlocks, Hunters, and Mages. Now my first video got some mixed responses, so hopefully this video will be a little bit more cleaned up for those who didn't necessarily like the more opinionated general things about vanilla I was saying. But anyway, let's just get right into it and talk about Warlocks. The Warlock rotation in vanilla basically consisted of just shooting shadow bolts unless told otherwise by your raid, and I'll touch more on that in a second. But each spec for Warlock was viable in its own way. Demonology was one of the better PvP specs because it had access to Soul Link, which sometimes made you harder to kill than a Prot Warrior. They also had access to the good old SM Ruin, Affliction, and Destruction spec, and with every spec's access to Fear, Warlocks were deadly in one-on-one PvP. A Warlock was probably one of the more easier classes to level in vanilla because of their demon pets, but it wasn't all good for them. A couple downsides to Warlocks was that you had to farm shards for hours before a raid, because you were the one who had to spy the Hellstones, you had to summon your demons, and oh yeah, some of those lazy people who didn't want to walk to the raid, or that one idiot who had to hearth back to get pods or something. Also, there was always a dot cap on the boss, meaning if a raid put too many dots on a boss, some dots would start falling off. So once again, unless you were told specifically to put your own dots on there, you were just spamming shadow balls the whole time, but you were still one of the best damaging classes if spec'd the right way. And you also got a free mount. Next up, let's talk about Hunters. Now, I've basically mained a Hunter throughout my entire WoW life, but I never got the chance to raid endgame with a Hunter in vanilla. By the time Burning Crusade came out, my Hunter was actually only around level 54. So I'm gonna let someone else take over this topic right here. You may know about his channel. If not, I'll leave a link in the description to it. But he's also the guy that kind of turned me on to WoW, turned me on to YouTube. Calooseeus, go for it.
What's up guys, it's Cal, and I want to tell you a bit about how Hunters were in vanilla WoW. Now they were vastly different than they are today. They required mana, their pet had to be fed to keep happy, and they had to buy their own ammunition. Needless to say, Hunters had some upsides and downsides to their gameplay. Once you reach level 10, you go through the biggest decision of your Hunter career, and that's finding a pet to tame to take with you on your journey. Pets in vanilla were very different. In fact, some did more DPS than others. Some are also better tanks than others. When it comes to soloing things, you can pick up a boar or even a bear. They can charge towards targets and can really take a punch with their high defense. For PvP, a pet with high attack speed like a cat is almost a must. Wind serpents are also nice as well since their lightning breath ignores armor. For dungeons or raids, pets with the highest DPS as possible are what you're looking for. Cats are also good for this, but wolves have an ability that increases the DPS of the party for some time, which is nice. Hunters themselves weren't the best DPS for endgame raiding, but they were far from the worst. You just have to make sure you maintained your mana throughout the fight, because if you ran out, well, you could always feign death and then drink some water to regain some. Also, a good tranquilizing shot was almost a must for raid groups. Most hunters I came across went with Beast Mastery, putting most of your focus into your pet. Its attack power bonus talents and power of Bestial Wrath definitely made it viable. Marksman put more focus into your bow skills. It was good in PvP because it gave you aim shot, which was a well-suited healing reduction shot, and also buffs to concussive shot. Its buffs to Serpent Sting and addition of True Shot Aura also made it viable for PvE. Survival really wasn't used much, but if anything it was mainly geared towards PvP with its stamina and parry increases and buffs to your traps. For questing and soloing mobs, Hunters were a well-suited class. They even had an endgame quest where they had to kite deadly elite mobs around different parts of Azeroth, which awarded them one of the best bows in the game. It almost sounds too good to be true, right? Well, Hunters definitely had their drawbacks. For one, they had a minimum range of 7 yards, which kinda made them a laughingstock in PvP. If someone got within melee range of you, hopefully you could wing clip them and possibly get away. As already mentioned, mana was an issue for Hunters that shouldn't go unnoticed. Once your mana ran out, you could resort to feign death and drinking, or just auto shot until it hopefully regained itself. And then came Hunter ammunition. Hunters had a quiver or a pouch taking up a bag slot, which they kept arrows or bullets in. And once you ran out, well, hopefully you have a good melee weapon because that's all you could resort to. Hunters were a bit all over the place in vanilla WoW. They were somewhat easy to play, but difficult to play well.
See, I couldn't have said that better myself, but let's keep on going and let's talk about Mages next. Mages all around were probably one of the better classes when it came to endgame raiding in vanilla, especially during Molten Core and Blackwing Lair content. Basically, if you were a mage and planned on raiding, you had to go Frost Mage because in vanilla WoW, there was actually resistances. So at Molten Core, your Frost moves were doing good damage against fire elementals, while your fire moves weren't doing as much. In PvP, there was those famous 3-minute mages, also called the POM Pyro Mages. These mages could basically one-hit any class if they stacked the Zandalari trick from Zul'Gurub with the Arcane Talents Passive of Mind and Arcane Power, and then just shoot off an instant cast Pyroblast after getting a couple of Scorch stacks. I know that sounds complicated, but it's really not. POM Pyro Mages basically hit 2 buttons and they owned everyone. But the majority of the time, you're going to be the guy passing out food and water. But hey, at least you make a few extra gold by selling portals, right? But anyway, I'm going to end this overview right here. There's just one more part to this covering the final 3 classes, so hopefully I can get that video out before launch. But once again guys, if you haven't already, head on over to Cal's channel. A link will be in the top of the description. He makes World of Warcraft Legion guides, he's going to be making Nostalrius videos, and all types of gaming related content. So be sure to head on over there and subscribe to his channel too, I know it'll mean a lot to him. But thank you guys for watching. This is Double D Gaming. Let me know what class you're going to be rolling on Nostalrius and why down in the comment section down below. Don't forget to smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.